Hello friends, hope you are doing well. Let's talk telco news, let's talk tech news and gadget news. We have a whole heap of great topics for you today. I thought it would actually be a short video this time, but unfortunately, nope, not happening again. So if you do like this video, then make sure to tap that like button. And if you'd like to see more, then please consider subscribing. So first of all, iPhone SE. It has been released in Australia, and I know we talked about it last week, but to no one's surprise, it has been a massive hit, selling out in the initial delivery of stock. That's right, folks, it's sold out in most places. Now, without sounding like an Apple fanboy, which I believe I'm not, you see, I like what I like. But the iPhone SE, in my mind, proves that people are finally waking up. We've had this moment in time where mobile phone prices surged and people are still buying them, justifying that it's new technology and it takes a lot of R&D, and of course the marketing around it was spot on and people were buying. But now sales of the high-end top end of town have slowed and people are over it, I think. It seems that now the consumer will buy a cheaper phone because it makes more sense, because it can do everything the high-end phone can do in a cheaper package. Nobody's chasing numbers anymore. Well, what proof do we have of that? Well, OnePlus just laid off a bunch of employees in Europe, days after the launch of their new OnePlus 8 flagship. Some would say it's because of the virus, but I think it's also to do with how low the sales of that phone were. Except in China, it sold out over there because they put out a ridiculously low price compared to the rest of the world. But maybe it's a generational thing, or maybe phones are not so different, and that you can do everything you need to do on a $500, $750 and $1,500 phone. The one thing I'd like to add is that the price of the new iPhone SE is what we used to pay for top-end phones maybe 5 or 10 years ago. So let me know what you think. Are you actually going to go out and buy the top-end phone, or are you one of those people who goes, well, I can do everything I want to do on this mid-range phone? Let me know below what you guys think. So let's move on. The Aussie tracking app. It's definitely happening. The Australian government is developing their own version of the Trace Together app that was created in Singapore. Statements have come out to say that our own app will be significantly different from the Singapore version. And in fact, there are also doubts whether they will release the source code. Now, if you want to see a video specifically about that topic, please have a look at the link over here or below, wherever it's going to pop up, and we talked about it in depth. In fact, Health Minister Greg Hunt has walked back his comments of releasing the source code that we talked about last week, and that being a potential lifesaver of trusting this app. Now we're at a worst case scenario, and to build up the trust for this app will be a lot harder now. The Australian version of the Trace Together app will share plenty of similarities, so it won't be that different. It will still use Bluetooth to identify when two people with the app installed come within 1.5 meters of one another for 15 minutes. The stored information will only be held for 21 days and apparently will not drain your battery through the Bluetooth. Well, the statement said they will be avoiding the mistakes Singapore made, and the app will be better and built for Australian conditions, whatever that means. One positive and remotely helpful thing is that Prime Minister Scott Morrison has already ruled out Commonwealth access to the data, including by law enforcement agencies. So while the health agencies will be able to access that data, others won't. And I'm sure many of these measures are to help sell this app to the Australian public. In fact, there will also be legislations to govern the app. Details are unknown yet, but will be completed before the release of the app. And remember, there will be no identifying information. However, as we discussed last week, it uses your phone number to log in, so that phone number has all your details. Hopefully we'll find out more in exactly how you log in and how the app works. Maybe you don't even have to log in at all. So let's move on. Let's jump into NBN Co. In a recent interview on the Pulse program, Chief Customer Officer Paul Tyler said that the $50 million of the $150 million relief package is allocated to business. This is an uncapped amount, meaning that NBN Co won't need to draw a line in the sand for the number of businesses that it can temporarily support. So far, there have been reported that there will be over 300,000 businesses who are likely to be unable to pay their bills, and to support these businesses to help them continue trade, NBN Co will not cap that amount. Look, a positive move from NBN Co. After all, I think maybe they are coming around to the idea that internet is a major part of any business ability to function, especially in this climate. Hey, let me know below if your business can still function at all without the internet. It would be interesting to know if anybody knows a business that can do that, or if you are actually functioning as a business without internet. let me know below. Alright, let's move on. You know how there is this saying, when you can't depend on someone else to do it, you will have to do it yourself. So, Aussie Broadband has started work on its own dark fibre network. The plan is to connect 75 NBN points of interconnect and 24 data centres across Australia. Now, what does that mean? Well, without being in the boardrooms for these decisions, my best guess is that it's a way to avoid the CVC. Maybe? Well, imagine having your own connection between the POIs. The investment would be significant, but your overall cost would go down. And then, hey, you could even rent it out to other RSPs, and even then, your customers would have their own private highway. Now, I'm sure this is going to be for enterprise level use, but we could dream. Also, you may be wondering, what is dark fibre? Well, dark fibre can be used to create a privately operated optical fibre network that is run directly by its operator over dark fibre leased or purchased from another supplier. And in this case, Aussie Broadband is going to be the supplier. Now, this is opposed to purchasing CVC or bandwidth on an existing network. Dark fibre networks may be used for private networking or internet access or internet infrastructure networking. Because both ends of the link are controlled by the same organization, dark fibre networks can operate using the latest optical protocols, using wavelength division multiplexing to add capacity where needed and to provide an upgrade path between technologies. They offer a very high price for performance for network users who require high performance, such as, let's say, Google, which has dark network capacities for video and search data, or wish to operate their own network for security or other commercial reasons. My guess, it might even be used by the government. However, dark fibre networks are generally only available in high population density areas where fibre has already been laid, as the civil engineering cost of installing fibre to new locations is often prohibitive. For those reasons, dark fibre networks are typically run between data centres and other places with existing fibre infrastructure. Now, Managing Director Philip Britt said the construction on Stage 1 is underway, which comprises of 20-kilometre fibre loop around Melbourne's CBD and Port Melbourne, with 1.8 million. So there you have it, RSPs thinking out of the box. Let's see what this all leads to. Friends, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's update. Make sure to stay tuned for many more videos this week. And if you haven't already checked out some of the great content from last week, in the channel below. And of course, if you like this video, then make sure to tap that like button. And if you would like to see more, then please consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you all in another video. Bye!